This Reddit post depicts Dricus Duplessis laughing at both Sean Strickland and Israel Adesanya because, of course, he is the reason why they are crying in these pictures. Sean Strickland, of course, waited to cry on the Theo Von podcast while Israel Adesanya broke down right there on the stage. And in this video, I'm going to describe the differences in the way Israel Adesanya decided to handle the moment and Sean Strickland. So let's get right into it. Israel Adesanya, he let it out. He did not allow it to fester. He did not allow it to build up. He let it out right there, and he said something very important. He said, just because I cried doesn't mean I can't whoop your ass. He said something to that effect, whereas Sean Strickland, when he was crying, he perceived it as a weakness, and he tried to hold it back and rein it in, and he called himself a pussy for doing such a thing. Now, Dricus Duplessis had a very close fight with Sean Strickland. I think he lost that fight. Enough to call it a robbery? No, it was a very close fight, but I had Sean Strickland 1, 2, and 5. So much for this meaning anything of, value here. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you get the better of someone in the war of words, but that doesn't mean you're going to get someone in the war of fisticuffs that come later in the octagon. And I think it's the same thing that's going to happen with Israel Adesanya, only Dricus will not get so lucky with the judges. I think Israel Adesanya has a fire lit up under him, and he has a motivation and an inspiration going into this fight like he hasn't had in a very long time. Plus, I think a lot of you are forgetting who Israel Adesanya is. It's easy to get caught up in the content creators like MMA Guru who like to make fun of people and things like that. It's super easy to fall into that negativity trap and that loop of negativity these days. However, the reality is Israel Adesanya is a guy who is quite literally the second greatest middleweight champion of all time. Okay? He's the second greatest middleweight champion of all time. Outside of that, if you have any questions about Israel Adesanya's, mental strength, his heart, his courage, and anything like that, and you think this crying picture describes it in any way, I would just like to point you back to when he fought Alex Pereira the last time in the UFC, where he was 0-3, okay? 0-3 against Alex Pereira. He lost twice in kickboxing, one of which being a nasty knockout where he was out and they needed the oxygen machine for him. And the other one being in the UFC where he almost got knocked out. He got stopped and he was like standing and he was slumped over, but the referee saved him from being knocked unconscious and falling to the floor. Okay? Now, with that said, he went in there against a guy who's bigger than him, more powerful than him, evidented by the previous 2 times he knocked them out, guys. You get what I'm saying? He went in there against this guy who, in my opinion, represented a demon in the life, especially in the mixed martial arts life of Israel Adesanya. I've said it before in many videos. We all have our demons. Sean Strickland, whether it's past trauma, Israel Adesanya, a guy like Alex Pereira that follows you from kickboxing, who arguably has your number from kickboxing and follows you into MMA, beats you in MMA, takes your title, and now you're going into him when you're 0-3 against him. Some people battle addiction, some people, bunch of things, guys. We all have our demons. Israel Adesanya showed that he has the mental fortitude, the heart, the courage, all these things, the championship guts, so to speak, to go in there and laugh last. He who laughs last laughs best. And Israel Adesanya got that last chuckle in as he rained down those arrows and punches on old Alex Pereira, okay? He left him frozen like Elsa. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. It's what happened. So let's call a spade here. Let's just be honest with what's happening. Sure, Israel Adesanya wears his heart on his sleeve and he's an emotional guy and things like that, but I think he handled it the right way. This was not, when I say handled it the right way, I mean as best as he could, right? Like, it's better to not probably break down and cry, I would think. But then again, to each their own. Everybody has their own ways of handling things. Everybody has their own way. Israel Adesanya, for what I know about him, from watching him since his debut in the UFC, from seeing many interviews about him, I think this moment is Dricus Duplessis poking the bear. Poking a bear that I don't think he intended on poking. And he's going to find out. I have Israel Adesanya winning this fight due to this motivation and inspiration that he has. This is a fight that he's wanted for a while. When the Robert Whittaker fight happened and Dricus du Plessis beat Robert Whittaker, he was screaming, I manifested this, I manifested this. He was screaming all of that. He really wanted the fight. I only believe that Izzy lost to Sean Strickland because he wasn't motivated for that fight. He was scheduled and planned to fight Dricus du Plessis. Dricus du Plessis fight fell through because of an ankle injury, all things like that. Okay, fine, but guess what? When you take away someone's motivation and someone's inspiration for something, they kind of fall flat, right? It's no longer the same level of enthusiasm that you have to go to work that day. So for me, that's why Israel Adesanya lost to Sean Strickland more than anything. I say Israel Adesanya goes out there, he beats Dricus du Plessis. After that, he gets a rematch with Sean Strickland, and he corrects the wrong just like he did in the rematch with Alex Pereira. And he beats Sean Strickland in the rematch. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's stick right here. The last thing I want to bring up that I've brought up in other videos is the Conor McGregor Jose Aldo World Tour, which was a great insight into psychological warfare and all things like that. If you weren't a fan at the time, go back and watch it. It's all documented. You know, treat yourself. Now, Jose Aldo carried a lot of that resentment in. He did not, you know, make use of that energy. He bottled it up, and he was very tense. And you remember Joe Rogan in the commentary saying that Aldo looks like someone who is feeling the pressure of this moment, whereas Conor is very in the moment. And even when the fight started, he goes, Conor relaxed, Conor smiling. Oh, he slapped him! And that's what happened. Aldo was so tense. Aldo was so just dead set with rage, wanting to get to Conor and hurt Conor, that he was tensed up. He threw this leaping left hook, and he got caught for it. Israel Adesanya, he's not holding anything back. He's not tensed up, Israel Adesanya. He's letting it out, as you can see here at the press conference. He does not mind being vulnerable, guys. This is very important, and it's a big difference between how Strickland handled it and how Israel handled it, because Israel didn't down himself. He didn't call himself the P word the way Sean Strickland did. You get what I'm saying? He said, I could still whoop you even if I cry. So I'm rocking with Israel Adesanya. I just think a lot of you guys need to check the hate at the door, because it stops you from seeing things for how they actually are. You know, you guys read into a lot of things that probably shouldn't be read into as much just because you hate the guy. You know what I mean? So, excuse me. No sound on that burp, I guess, whatever. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below, whether you agree, disagree. It does not matter. Just join the discussion. We talking sports on this side. If y'all want to talk MMA, if y'all want to talk whatever, this is the place for it. We having fun. Let me know in the comment section below. If you like the video, leave a like, of course. Enjoy the time spent, all the stuff. I forgot the spiel. But I do remember to say thank you, because you are all very appreciated.